The HOA president filed a police report claiming I stole electricity from the community. Using my own EV charger that I paid $2,400 to install in my own driveway. 2 cops showed up at 7 p.m. My 8-year-old daughter was doing homework at the kitchen table. My wife was cooking dinner. And Margaret Sullivan, HOA president, was standing behind the officers with her arms crossed, smirking like she'd already won. "Sir, we need to discuss the theft complaint." "Theft? That's my charger. I paid for it. I pay the electric bill." Margaret cut me off. "The charger draws from community power lines. That's theft of HOA resources. We're pressing charges." The cops looked confused, but they had to follow up. "Now I'm facing criminal charges. Margaret's telling every neighbor I'm a thief, threatening foreclosure on my house." What she didn't know? I'd been recording everything, and that evidence was about to cost her everything she owned. I'm in my driveway, mountains towering behind me, lake glittering in the afternoon sun, green grass perfect. Everything's perfect. I'm installing my brand new Level 2 EV charger. $2,400. Worth every penny for my Tesla. The drill hums. Concrete dust on my hands. Almost done. Then I hear it. Footsteps. Sharp. Deliberate. I turn. Margaret Sullivan, HOA president. Mid-50s. Designer sunglasses covering half her face. Walking like she owns the street. The development. Everything. That's going to be a problem. Not hello. Not good afternoon. Just that. I lower the drill. "Excuse me. That charger. It's against HOA regulations. Community aesthetic standards." My stomach drops. Cold. Immediate. I check the bylaws. Every single page. Nothing about EV chargers. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. There is now. Emergency board meeting last week. No external electrical installations without prior written approval. Last week. My voice cracked slightly. I wasn't notified. All residents were emailed. Flat. Matter of fact. Complete lie. I check my email religiously. Every morning. Every night. Nothing. "I need this for my car." "Then you should have asked permission first." She crosses her arms. Gold bracelet catching sunlight. "You have 48 hours to remove it, or we're fining you $500 per day." My hands start shaking. $2,400. Installation cost another $600. $3,000 total. Wasted. And if I don't? Her smile widens. Predatory. "We'll place a lien on your property. Eventually." She pauses for effect. Foreclosure. The word hangs in the air. Heavy. Suffocating. Foreclosure. She turns. Walks away. Heels clicking on pavement. Doesn't look back. I stand there. Drill in hand. Half-installed charger mocking me from the wall. The front door opens. Sarah. My wife. Concern written across her face. Emma behind her. Our 8-year-old. Clutching her stuffed rabbit. What did she want? I can't answer. Can't find words. Emma tugs Sarah's shirt. Why was that lady mean to Daddy? Sarah sees my face. Understands immediately. How bad? Bad. Inside, I show her the violation notice Margaret left. Official letterhead. Legal threats. 48 hours. This can't be legal, Sarah says. Her hands trembling as she reads. She said it is. Then we'll fight it. We'll. Fight with what? A lawyer costs thousands. We just spent $3,000 on this charger. Emma's watching us. Eyes wide. Scared. That night I can't sleep. Staring at the ceiling. Calculating. The charger. The fines. The legal fees. We can't afford this. But something else burns in my chest. Rage. This is our home. Our driveway. Our property. And Margaret Sullivan just declared war. She has no idea what's coming. But I'm about to make her understand exactly who she's dealing with. This isn't over. It's just beginning. I don't sleep. Can't. 3 a.m. I'm at my laptop. Kitchen table. Cold coffee. Scrolling through 300 pages of HOA bylaws. Line by line. Word by word. Sarah finds me at dawn. Did you sleep at all? Can't. Page 287. There it is. Exterior electrical installation prohibition. Dated 8 days ago. 8 days. They planned this. Knew I was installing the charger. Waited until I finished. Then dropped the hammer. Morning light filters through windows. Emma's eating cereal. Cartoon playing quietly. Doorbell. My stomach clenches. It's Margaret. But she's not alone. Richard Torres. HOA treasurer. Slick back hair. Rolex glinting. Expensive everything. Janet Weeks. Secretary. Tablet in hand. Camera app open. Recording. We're here for compliance inspection, Margaret announces. She's already moving past me. Into my house. Wait, you can't just. Section 4.7. We have access rights for compliance verification. Richard's already in my living room, looking around like a health inspector in a restaurant kitchen. Janet, note the unapproved paint color in the hallway. I blink. What? Eggshell white. Approved color is Swiss coffee white. They're the same color. Margaret examines the wall. Touches it. Not according to our color consultant. Different undertones. That's insane. Janet, add it to the list. They move through my house like locusts. Living room. Kitchen. Bathrooms. Richard points at our welcome mat. Thickness violation. Maximum 1/4 inch. This is 3/8. Janet types. Camera rolling. Margaret opens our back door. Surveys the yard. Unapproved garden rocks. Section 8.3 requires river stones only. These are limestone. They're rocks. Wrong rocks. Emma's sidewalk chalk drawings on the driveway. Rainbows. Flowers. A house with a smiling sun. Defacement of common property, Richard says. Emma's face crumbles. She's 8 years old. Violation is a violation. 23 minutes. That's how long they're in my house. When they leave, Janet hands me a printed document. Still warm from her portable printer. Violation notice. Itemized. Unapproved paint. $400. Doormat thickness. $200. Garden rocks. $600. Sidewalk chalk. $300. EV charger. $2,000. Plus previous fine. $500. Total. $3,200. 7 days to correct all violations, Margaret says. Or we initiate legal proceedings. Legal proceedings means foreclosure. Sarah grabs my arm. Nails digging in. She's shaking. Emma's crying now. Full tears. Daddy, why is she so mean? Margaret doesn't even look at her. They leave. Sarah sinks into a chair. This can't be happening. But it is. I look at Emma. At her chalk drawings they called defacement. At my house they just invaded. At the $3,000 bill for existing. Something hardens inside me. They want war? Fine. But I'm not fighting on their terms. I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to document everything. Every word. Every action. Every lie. And when I'm done, Margaret Sullivan will wish she'd never knocked on my door. Day 1 of documentation. I buy a notebook. Timestamp everything. Photos. Videos. Audio recordings, legal in our state. Sarah thinks I'm obsessing. Maybe we should just pay the fines. Move on. Move on to what? They'll just find new violations. She knows I'm right. Day 3. I'm at the community center. Public records room. Dusty filing cabinets. HOA documents going back 15 years. I start digging. Margaret's violation notices. I count them. 47 in the past 6 months. But only to 12 properties. Same 12. Over and over. That's strange. I cross-reference with property tax records. Public information. Available online. 3 of those 12 properties? Sold in the past year. Distressed sales. Way below market value. Buyer? Summit Ridge Property Solutions. I Google the company. Owner, James Sullivan. Margaret's son. My heart pounds. She's forcing people out. Threatening foreclosure. Her son buys the properties cheap. Flips them. Profits. It's a scam. I keep digging. Richard Torres Construction Company. RT Construction, LLC. Every HOA contract for 3 years. Parking lot repaving. Playground equipment. Pool maintenance. Costs 30% above market rate. No other bids allowed. Janet Weeks. Her husband runs aesthetic consulting services. $500 per inspection. I search the business. No website. No reviews. No physical address. It doesn't exist. Just a bank account. I'm printing documents when someone taps my shoulder. I jump. It's Dan Miller. Lives 3 streets over. Gray beard. Tired eyes. Older guy, maybe 60. You're fighting them too? He whispers. I nod slowly. Me too. He looks around. Nervous. I'm an attorney. Employment law, not HOA stuff. But he leans closer. There's 5 of us. All being targeted. Same pattern. He hands me his business card. We should talk. Tonight. My place. That evening, 5 families crowd into Dan's basement. Everyone with the same story. Bogus violations. Mounting fines. Foreclosure threats. We need a real estate attorney, Dan says. Someone who specializes in HOA law. I know someone. Jake Morrison. College roommate. Best attorney I know. Shark in a suit. I call him. How fast can you get here? Give me 6 hours. I text Dan. Help's coming. But my phone buzzes again. Unknown number. I answer. Heavy breathing. Then a voice. Distorted. Drop this, or you'll regret it. Click. My blood runs cold. Sarah sees my face. What? They know we're organizing. How? I don't know. But someone's watching. And Margaret Sullivan just made this personal. Game on. Jake arrives at noon the next day. Sharp suit. Leather briefcase. That predator smile I remember from law school. We spread everything across Dan's dining table. Violation notices. Financial records. Property transfers. Bank statements. Jake's eyes widen with each document. Holy shit. Can we stop them? He looks up. Stop them? We're going to bury them. He starts organizing. Creating files. Timelines. Connection maps. But we need more. We need coordination proof. Emails. Meeting minutes. Direct financial transactions. That's when Linda Hayes speaks up. Quiet. Nervous. Cleaning lady for the community center. I have keys. Everyone stares. I clean Margaret's office twice a week. Early mornings. No one's there. Dan shakes his head. You can't. That's breaking and entering. I'm not breaking in. I work there. She shrugs. And if I see something while emptying trash cans? Jake leans forward. What exactly would you see? Her computer's usually unlocked. She leaves it on overnight. It's risky. Insanely risky. But we're desperate. Do it, I say. 2 nights later. 2:47 a.m. My phone lights up. Linda, got it. I can't breathe. Morning comes. Jake arrives early. USB drive in hand. He plugs it into his laptop. Files open. Emails. Dozens. Between Margaret, Richard, and Janet. Subject, Target Properties Q3. Subject, Foreclosure Timeline, Peterson. That's me. They have a timeline to foreclosure my house. Subject, Commission Split, Summit Ridge. Bank statements. Kickback payments. $20,000. $15,000. $8,000. Contract rigging documents. Richard's company. Approved bids before anyone else could submit. Jake's jaw clenches. This is federal. Wire fraud. Mail fraud. RICO. What's RICO? Racketeering. Organized crime statute. We got them. We got them. But that afternoon, everything changes. Police cars in my driveway. 2 officers at my door. Young. Professional. Uncomfortable. Sir, we have a report of harassment. What? They show me papers. Restraining order. Filed by Margaret Sullivan. Claims I've been stalking her. Following her. Threatening her. Making her fear for her safety. Complete fabrication. That's not true. We also received an anonymous tip. Possible drug activity at this address. My stomach drops. Drug activity? We don't. We need to search the premises. Sarah appears behind me. Emma clinging to her leg. You can't be serious. But they are. They're searching my house. Right now. And I know exactly who called them. Margaret's counterattack has begun. The officers search everything. Bedrooms. Closets. Garage. Every drawer. Every cabinet. Emma's crying. Sarah's trying to comfort her while 4 strangers tear through our home. They find nothing. Obviously. But damage is done. Squad cars in the driveway. Lights flashing. Neighbors gathering on lawns. Phones out. Recording. This is what Margaret wanted. The spectacle. By noon, it's everywhere. Community Facebook group exploding. Drug raid on Lakeside Drive. Margaret's posting. Screenshots of police reports. Carefully edited. Cropped to remove context. Concerned about safety with dangerous individuals in our family community. We have children here. Comments flood in. Unbelievable. Right next to the playground. HOA should evict them. My phone won't stop buzzing. My boss calling. Hey, someone sent me a Facebook post. What's going on? Emma's school. Mr. Peterson, we've received concerned calls from other parents. Sarah's crying. They're destroying us. Jake files emergency motions. Defamation. False police report. But courts move slow. Margaret moves fast. That afternoon, a man approaches me at work. Parking lot. Gray suit. Expensive camera around his neck. Mr. Peterson? Got a minute. Who are you? Just need to ask a few questions. He pulls out a notepad. How long have you been involved in illegal activities? I'm not. Who hired you? He smiles. Doesn't answer. Walks to my coworkers. Starts asking them questions. Has he seemed unstable? Angry? Violent? I'm called into HR 30 minutes later. We're getting complaints. About your situation. Maybe take some time off. It's not a suggestion. I drive home, hands shaking on the wheel. That's when I see it. For sale sign in my yard. I didn't put that there. I rip it out. Throw it down. Phone rings. Unknown number. Hello. Mr. Peterson? Charles Blackwood. Attorney representing the HOA. We're prepared to offer $180,000 for your property. Quick sale. No hassle. Clean exit. My house is worth $425,000. Go to hell. That's unfortunate. Because we're also prepared to file a $50,000 lawsuit. Harassment. Defamation. Emotional distress to our clients. Silence. Your choice, Mr. Peterson. Sell cheap and walk away. Or lose everything in court. He hangs up. I sit in my car, staring at the mountains, the lake, the life we built here. They're taking everything. Our reputation, our jobs, our home. But they made one mistake. They pushed too hard, too fast. And now I'm going to push back. Emergency meeting. Dan's basement again. 9 p.m. All 5 families. Everyone's been hit. Restraining orders. False complaints. Private investigators. Social media attacks. Jobs threatened. They're trying to break us before trial, Jake says. Classic intimidation strategy. It's working, someone mutters. Voice defeated. No. I stand. It's not. Everyone looks at me. Because they got sloppy. I pull out my phone. Margaret's latest Facebook post. Posted 2 hours ago. Look at this. Photo of her in her kitchen. Caption. Cleaning up our neighborhood, one property at a time. But in the background, visible through the window, Richard's truck. So, Dan asks. So Richard's married. His wife filed a complaint last year about HOA fund misuse. Complaint mysteriously disappeared. I zoom in. Look at the timestamp. This photo was taken at 11:37 p.m. Last Tuesday. Jake leans closer. Last Tuesday was the night they filed all our restraining orders. The room goes silent. They were together. At her house. Late at night. Coordinating their attack. Jake pulls out his laptop. I subpoenaed Margaret's phone records yesterday. She's been calling Richard 50 times a week. Could be HOA business, someone says. For 3 years? Including 2 a.m. calls. Weekend calls. Jake shakes his head. Her husband's a long-haul trucker. Gone weeks at a time. Understanding dawns on everyone's faces. We're not just fighting HOA corruption, Jake says slowly. We're exposing an affair. Financial fraud. Conspiracy. Criminal racketeering. He opens another file. I contacted the county prosecutor this morning. And the state HOA oversight board. Submitted everything. What did they say? Grand jury convenes next week. My phone buzzes. Email from Jake's paralegal. Court date set. 2 weeks from today. Jake grins. Wolf-like. They wanted to intimidate us into settling. Instead, they gave us more evidence. He starts laying out the strategy. They'll panic when they get served tomorrow. Panic people make mistakes. What kind of mistakes? The kind that puts them in prison. We spend 3 hours planning. Every detail. Every document. Every witness. I drive home at midnight. Sarah's awake. Waiting. How'd it go? We have them. Really? Really? But my phone rings again. Unknown number. I answer. You think you're smart? Margaret's voice. Raw. Angry. No distortion this time. You have no idea what you've started. Actually, I do. See you in court. I hang up. Sarah's eyes wide. What's that? Yeah. She sounds scared. She should be. Because in 2 weeks, everything changes. And Margaret Sullivan has no idea what's about to hit her. But she's about to find out. Margaret finds out about the court date within hours. I know because that night, all 4 tires on my car are slashed. Clean cuts. Deliberate. Security camera catches a figure. Hoodie. Face hidden. Can't prove it's her. But we know. Next morning, Dan's windshield is smashed. Spiderweb cracks across the glass. Linda finds her mailbox destroyed. Bent metal. Letters scattered in mud. They're escalating. But so are we. Jake's investigator works fast. Former FBI. Knows how to dig. He finds more. Richard's construction company. RT Construction. Overbilled the HOA by $340,000 over 3 years. Fake invoices. Inflated material costs. Labor charges for work never done. Janet's consulting fees. She's Margaret's cousin. Never disclosed. Conflict of interest. Illegal. The color consultant company doesn't exist. No business license. No tax filings. No physical location. Just a bank account funneling money to Janet's husband. This gets better, Jake says. He's grinning like a madman. How? He drops a thick folder on the table. Original HOA formation documents. From when this development was built. 20 years ago. And Margaret's emergency bylaw amendments? The electrical installation ban? All of it. He pauses. Completely invalid. My heart stops. What? She needed a 75% homeowner vote for bylaw changes. Major amendments require community approval. She never held a vote. Never even notified residents. So the fines don't exist. Legally meaningless. Every violation she issued in the past 18 months? Worthless paper. I can barely breathe. She knew you couldn't afford to fight. Counted on you selling cheap or facing foreclosure before you figured it out. That afternoon, the mail arrives. IRS letter. My hands shake opening it. Audit notice. Tax returns from 3 years ago. Suddenly flagged for review. Sarah finds me at the kitchen table, staring at the letter. What is it? I show her. Her face goes pale. They reported us. Has to be. An IRS audit. Could cost thousands in accounting fees. Even if we did nothing wrong. Margaret's playing every card. Legal. Illegal. Doesn't matter. But she doesn't know what we have. Jake files our counterclaim that evening. $2.4 million in damages. Fraud. Conspiracy. Racketeering. Emotional distress. Punitive damages. He serves the papers himself. Hand delivers them to Margaret's house. Calls me after. You should have seen her face. What did she do? Slammed the door. But not before I saw her expression. He laughs. Pure terror. The war just went nuclear. My phone buzzes. Text from Dan. Richard just tried to bribe me. $50,000 to drop out. Another text. Linda. Janet called crying. Says they'll lose everything. They're panicking. Good. But panic people are dangerous. And Margaret Sullivan has nothing left to lose. Which means the next move is going to be her worst. Jake calls the next morning. Early. 6 a.m. I have an idea. I'm listening. We give them rope. Let them hang themselves. 2 hours later, I send Margaret an email. Every word lawyer approved. I can't afford to keep fighting. I have a family. I'm willing to discuss settlement terms. She responds in 43 minutes. Emergency meeting. Community center. Tomorrow. 6 p.m. Come alone. Jake smiles when I show him. Perfect. Next day, we arrive together. Me, Sarah, Jake. Margaret's already there. Richard beside her. Janet looking nervous. And their attorney, Charles Blackwood. Expensive suit. Cold eyes. Predator energy. I thought I said come alone, Margaret says. My attorney goes where I go. She doesn't like it, but sits. Blackwood opens a folder. $200,000 for the property. You sign today. Drop all complaints. Move out in 30 days. The house is worth $425,000. Not anymore. Margaret leans forward. Not with your reputation. No one wants to buy a drug house. My fist clenches under the table. Sarah squeezes my hand. I need time. No time, Richard interrupts. This offer expires tonight. Take it, or we proceed with foreclosure Monday morning. Jake leans back. Casual. Foreclosure on what grounds? The violations you issued using illegally amended bylaws. The room freezes. Margaret's eyes narrow. What? The bylaws you changed without homeowner approval. The electrical installation ban. The paint colors. Garden rocks. All of it. Jake pulls out a document. Original HOA formation documents. Developer's covenant. Any major bylaw amendment requires 75% homeowner vote. He slides it across the table. You never held a vote. Never even notified residents. Which means every violation you issued in the past 18 months. He pauses. Legally meaningless. Blackwood grabs the document. Starts reading. His face changes. Every fine. Every foreclosure threat. Every harassment campaign. Jake stands. Built on fraudulent bylaws. Margaret's face drains of color. So here's what's going to happen. Jake continues. You're going to rescind every violation. Return every dollar in fines. And pray we don't add more damages to our lawsuit. You can't prove. I can prove everything. Want to see the emails? The bank transfers? Richard's kickback payments? Your son's property acquisitions? Silence. Complete. Devastating. Silence. See you in court, Jake says. And I'd suggest you bring your checkbooks. All of you. We walk out. Behind us, raised voices. Panic. Outside, Jake's practically vibrating with energy. Now they're desperate. And desperate people. Make mistakes, I finish. He's right. 48 hours later, Margaret calls an emergency HOA meeting. She's trying to push through retroactive approval of her bylaw changes. But Jake anticipated this. He's already contacted every homeowner, sent them evidence, explained the fraud. The meeting room is about to become a war zone, and Margaret Sullivan has no idea she's walking into an ambush. The meeting room is packed. Over 100 homeowners. Standing room only. Anger thick in the air. People who've been fined, harassed, threatened, intimidated for years. They're all here. Margaret tries to start, gavel in hand. I call this meeting too. You're a thief. Shout from the back. Older woman. Mrs. Crawford. She's shaking with rage. You stole $3,000 from me. Order. I will have. You threatened my elderly mother. Another voice. Younger man. Standing. Pointing. She's 84 years old and you made her cry. The room erupts. Your son bought my neighbor's house for nothing. You rigged every contract. You're criminals. Margaret's banging the gavel. Everyone sit down. This is out of order. No one sits. Richard stands. Tries to calm everyone. If we could just. Gets booed. Shouted down. Janet's crying. Mascara running. Head in her hands. That's when Tom Bradford stands. Older gentleman. Maybe 70. Marine veteran. Lived here 20 years. Respected by everyone. Room goes quiet. He doesn't yell. Doesn't need to. I've been documenting every HOA meeting for 5 years, he says. Voice steady. Military bearing. I have recordings. Every illegal decision. Every rigged contract. Every threat you people made. He looks directly at Margaret. I submitted everything to the FBI yesterday. Wire fraud. Mail fraud. Racketeering across state lines. You could hear a pin drop. Margaret's face goes white. You had no right. I had every right. You've been stealing from this community for years. Sirens outside. Distant at first. Getting louder. 2 unmarked cars pull up. Visible through windows. 4 people enter. Professional. Badges displayed. Margaret Sullivan? Richard Torres? Janet Weeks. Federal agents. We need you to come with us. You have the right to remain silent. Margaret's legs buckle. Richard catches her arm. Janet's full-on sobbing now. The room watches in stunned silence as they're let out. Handcuffs. In front of everyone. The HOA board. Arrested. I can't breathe. Sarah grabs my hand. Squeezing so hard it hurts. Emma's not here. Thank God. She doesn't need to see this. Outside, news vans are arriving. Someone tipped them off. Cameras catching everything. Margaret being put in a federal vehicle. Head down. Hiding her face. This is real. This is actually happening. Jake appears beside me. Grand jury moved fast. Indictments came through this morning. What happens now? Now? They face federal charges. Real prison time. Someone starts clapping. Then another person. Soon the entire room is applauding. Not celebrating. Not exactly. More like relief. Years of fear. Gone. Years of abuse. Over. Tom Bradford approaches me. Extends his hand. Thank you for fighting. I didn't do this alone. No. But you started it. I look around the room. At the faces. The families. We're free. Actually free. But the real fight starts in 3 weeks. Federal court. And I want to see Margaret's face when the judge reads the verdict. 3 weeks later. Federal courthouse. Downtown. Marble floors. High ceilings. Everything designed to feel important. Because it is. We're not just here for my case anymore. Class action lawsuit. 67 families. $8.4 million in damages. The courtroom is packed. Every seat taken. People standing in back. Judge Rebecca Stone presides. Federal judge. 20 years on the bench. Reputation for no-nonsense justice. Margaret's defense attorney is expensive. 3-piece suit. Gold cufflinks. Tries procedural motions. Delays. Technicalities. Judge Stone shuts him down every time. Counselor, I've reviewed the evidence. Let's not waste the court's time. Jake presents our case. Methodical. Devastating. The forged bylaws. The kickback schemes. The property transfers. Bank records showing Margaret's son buying foreclosed homes. Richard's construction company. $340,000 in fraudulent billing. The fake consulting company funneling money to Janet's husband. Each piece of evidence projected on screens. Undeniable. Margaret's attorney tries to argue procedural irregularities. Not fraud. Judge Stone interrupts. You issued $340,000 in fines based on bylaws you illegally created. You threatened foreclosure on 67 families. You filed false police reports. You coordinated to systematically deprive families of their property rights. She removes her glasses, looks directly at Margaret. This isn't an irregularity, counselor. This is a criminal enterprise. Margaret's face crumbles. The federal prosecutor stands. Your Honor, we've secured indictments on 12 counts of wire fraud, 8 counts of mail fraud, and conspiracy to commit racketeering. Sentencing recommendations? 3 to 5 years federal prison for Sullivan. 4 to 6 for Torres. Probation for weeks, pending cooperation. The defense attorney tries to speak. Gets waved down. Here's my ruling, Judge Stone says. The room goes silent. Full restitution to all plaintiffs. $8.4 million. She pauses. Plus punitive damages. I'm adding another $4 million. Gasps throughout the courtroom. All fines issued by the previous HOA board are voided effective immediately. The current board is dissolved. New elections to be held within 60 days. She looks at Margaret. Richard. Janet. You exploited your positions of trust. You weaponized homeowner regulations to steal from your neighbors. You destroyed families for profit. Gavel comes down. Sharp. Final. This court is adjourned. Margaret sinks into her chair. Destroyed. Richard's staring at the table. Blank. Janet's still crying. Outside, news cameras everywhere. Jake's giving a statement. This verdict sends a message. HOAs are not above the law. Sarah's crying. Happy tears. Emma between us. Dan approaches. Smiling for the first time in months. We did it. Yeah, we did. But it's not over yet. Sentencing is in 6 weeks. And I want to be there when Margaret hears her fate. The news spreads like wildfire. Local newspapers. TV stations. National coverage. HOA fraud ring busted in federal court. Homeowners win $12.4 million in landmark case. Our story goes viral. YouTube videos. Reddit threads. Hundreds of thousands of views. People sharing their own HOA nightmares in comments. This happened to us. My HOA tried the same thing. How do we fight back? Margaret's trial comes 6 months later. I attend. So does Sarah, Dan, Linda, Tom Bradford. All of us. We want to see this through to the end. The verdict takes 3 days. Guilty on all counts. Margaret Sullivan, 3 years federal prison. Richard Torres, for years. Janet Weeks, 2 years probation. She cooperated. Testified against the others. Margaret's son loses his real estate license. His company dissolved. Property seized and returned to original owners at fair market value. Charles Blackwood, their attorney, disbarred for complicity, knew about the fraud, helped facilitate it. But the real victory is the community. New HOA board elected. Dan Miller becomes president. Linda Hayes, treasurer. Real volunteers. People who care about the neighborhood, not profit. First action, forgive all previous fines. Every single one. Second, remove all illegal bylaws. Start fresh. Fair guidelines. Actual homeowner votes. My EV charger? Still in my driveway. Working perfectly. 3 neighbors install their own. No complaints. No violations. No harassment. The settlement money arrives. $187,000 for our family. Restitution for fines. Legal fees. Emotional distress. Lost wages. We use some to finish Emma's treehouse. She designs it herself. Picks colors. Adds windows. A slide. No one complains about paint colors or unapproved structures. Because that's not what HOAs should be. One evening, Sarah and I stand on our deck. Sun setting over the mountains. Lake turning gold. Emma laughing with friends in her treehouse. Think it's really over? Sarah asks. I pull her close. Yeah, it is. My phone buzzes. Text from Dan. New family moving into Margaret's old house next week. They have 2 EVs. I told them they'll love it here. I smile. This is what community should be. Safe. Fair. Home. Not fear. Not intimidation. Not theft. Just neighbors. Living. Helping each other. Margaret's house sold at auction. Proceeds went to restitution fund. Richard's too. Their corruption funded repairs they should have done years ago. Playground equipment. Road maintenance. Real security cameras. Property values increased. New families moving in. Everyone feels safe. This is what we fought for. Not revenge. Not money. Just the right to exist in our own homes without fear. And we won. 6 months after the trial. I'm at the lake with Emma. Saturday afternoon. Sun high. Mountains green. Water sparkling. Emma's skipping stones. Counting bounces. 7, Daddy. Did you see? I saw. That's your record. She beams. Runs to find more flat rocks. Margaret's federal sentence is being served at a minimum security facility in Colorado. 2 years in. 1 to go. Richard's at a different facility. Higher security. He fought the conviction. Made it worse. Janet completed probation. Moved away. Started over somewhere else. But here, we healed. The new HOA is everything it should be. Monthly meetings. Transparent budgets. Real contractor bids. Fair guidelines. No more fear. No more surprise violations. No more threatened foreclosures. Just a community that works. Dan found 12 other HOA fraud cases across the state. Using our evidence as a template, he's helping them fight. Pro bono. Says it's his retirement project. Our case became a blueprint. A roadmap. HOA tyranny and how to fight it. Local news did a follow-up story. Interviewed us. Dan. Tom Bradford. Tips for homeowners. Document everything. Photos. Videos. Timestamps. Know your rights. Read your bylaws. Verify changes require votes. Find allies. You're not alone. Get a real attorney. Not just any lawyer. An HOA specialist. Don't give up. Because that's what they count on. You being too tired. Too scared. Too broke to fight. Prove them wrong. Emma splashes into the water. Laughing. Free. This is what matters. My Tesla's charging at home right now. In my driveway. No one cares. Sarah waves from our deck. Iced tea in hand. Tom Bradford walks by with his dog. Stops to chat. Beautiful day. Sure is. Your daughter's getting good at those stones. She practices every weekend. He smiles. Continues his walk. Normal. Peaceful. Right. If you're facing an HOA nightmare right now, listen to me. You can fight this. Document everything they do. Every email. Every fine. Every threat. Find other targeted families. You're not alone. They use isolation as a weapon. Get an attorney who specializes in HOA law. Not optional. Necessary. Report them to state oversight boards. County prosecutors. FBI if it's big enough. Don't back down. They're betting you will. They're betting you'll sell cheap. Move away. Give up. Don't. Because you know what's more powerful than a corrupt HOA board? A community that stands together. A community that says enough. A community that fights back. We did it. You can too. Emma runs up. Soaking wet. Can we get ice cream? Absolutely. We walk to the car. My Tesla. The one that started all this. I look back at the mountains. The lake. Our home. Worth fighting for. Every second of it. If this story helped you, hit that like button. And drop a comment below. Tell me your HOA story. The good, the bad, the nightmare scenarios. Let's build a community of people who refuse to be bullied in their own homes. Because your story matters. Your fight matters. And together, we're stronger than any corrupt board could ever be. Share this video with anyone facing HOA abuse. Knowledge is power. And power is how we win. H.